everybody, this is Ep.94-Fanime's from Mission Star Podcast, and we have another episode of the Conover. This is actually a pretty big one. We got a lot of people in for this one. So joining me to talk about everything Fanime, we have no other than Ramen.
Yo, what's up?
We have Jeremy Wilson of the Rolling 20s.
Sorry, I just wanted to wait for a dramatic pause.
Okay. We got Rin, how do you say your last name? Dubois or Dunois, yeah. We have.
Hello, it's Nathan.
He's also here. He's also out in the field covering the event. And also, last but not least, we have Jesse, aka you might have seen him. He was in the CWF as Muscle Toad.
Jesse is bae.
But yeah, we are here to talk about everything Fanime and kind of our full thoughts. And after a couple of days, maybe a week of just kind of taking everything in and just like relaxing and like figuring out like what the hell happened, I think we can finally say we have some thoughts to come away with it. So, yeah, I think we should start with, what happened at the very, like, not even the convention has not even started yet, and like there was stuff happening already at the convention, and wow.
Zero shit. Let's go.
Yeah, definitely. So day 0/day 1, Fanime was running into registration problems, and
It wasn't a problem. A problem implies that there was something. There was nothing happening.
Exactly. That's the thing.
It was more of a switcheroo, if anything.
right.
A switcheroo that ended up being a cause of a problem.
Here's the thing. It's like, us at Mr. Star Podcast, we know what's up, right? So Anthony, tell us what happened. Tell us.
What happened was the human
Enlighten
equivalent
the
of
people.
a buffering wheel.
So you mean the bleach ball of death for you Mac users?
The thing, yeah. So basically, what happened is, LineCon returned. Like the whole LineCon thing that was,
Revenge, line con.
yeah, like it was a couple years ago where there was just a huge line to get your badge returned this year again.
It
And
returned, it upgraded, it ate somebody.
it did.
At least we don't hear of any. I wish this time wasn't so warm, or I wish it wasn't so warm outside that people actually ended up collapsing like that one time. I think.
Right.
Yeah, that was like the 8-hour line that I stood in like
And
years
it's
ago.
also like in that area like to the left side of the Fairmont Hotel or something. That's what I remembered.
Yeah.
You're out there in the blazing sun, late May, in San Jose.
Yeah, it was not a pretty sight.
I can lay out to you what happened this year because it blew.
Yeah. The thing.
Okay, you go ahead. It's your
Oh no.
Just do it.
So the thing about this year was that there were multiple issues that happened for registration this year for Fanime. One of which was, and this is something that we covered on the site days prior to the event happening, was that the Fanime switched over from their registration company from CMS or CMR, as I recall, to a whole different company days before the event happened. Well, whether the reason for this, I'm not quite sure myself. But that kind of started the tumble or the ball rolling in the very wrong direction. And then on the day of, for day 0 for Fanime, it was reported, or at least it's talked about, there were 2 incidents where the power went out twice, and the
Excuses. Oh God. Sorry, guys, I'm cold.
The badges that were given away on the lanyards weren't properly being held together. They were falling apart. And the lines were massive. I mean, it was LineCon 2.0, and it was a mess. There's no shits about it. So it was definitely not a pretty sight for people who had pre-reg or reg for that matter on day 1.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, after 2 years solid of conventions, including doing Comic-Con that got it down beneath 10 minutes worth of my time in a registration line. It's depressing to spend near 3 hours shuffling up and down a line that was so long. I was disappointed I wasn't on Star Tours at the end of it.
It's like, hey, this is a wall, and then to your right, there's a fucking tree.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah,
The worst one, though, was when they got you in that section where they shuffled you into the registration room so you can shuffle around again and leave the registration room to go around into another hallway.
Yeah. Okay. So look. I will let you guys. I will let you guys vent about you guys' experience in the line con, but I didn't have to experience it. Okay. I didn't have to do it. But go ahead, vent. Go ahead. and then at the end, the ramen will enlighten you.
All right. Well,
You're going to enlighten us with how weak you are that you went somewhere else. Fine.
damn.
Maybe.
What?
Shut up, Freight. Go ahead.
What?
Thank God for YouTube. I was not bored.
Yes. The advancement of this technology was. Yeah, the advancement of technology definitely helped us in the long run. But it will.
See, look,
Too bad
so-
there's no
so-
Fanime.
Okay, so I want to say one thing. Okay, like the whole thing about like working for cons, there's always like we can always sit there and point the finger and we say this or that, but the way cons work, there's always shit that's going on behind the scenes that we don't even know. They won't tell us. There's always like a lot of politics involved, But the whole thing about it is like they have a system down for Fanime, and it works fine. Every single time they move it, something happens. So like I just feel like they need to just get it down. They need to just stop. Be like, hey, this is one system that we're going with. We're gonna do it. We're gonna fucking go with it. Cool. Every time they switch it up, it fucks up.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. And like that is a big problem.
Yes. And one. And
Or you can just go to Clockwork Alchemy, which is what I did.
They're divesting themselves from Fanime, which will no longer work.
Okay, like I kind of hope that they stay at the same time during Fanime. I hope they kind of like stay like the same thing, because I like getting my badge in like 5 minutes and that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the things to add to the whole mess that's happening with registration was also, again, this was a whole new system that we're implementing this year for the hotels as well. It basically was set up to where each hotel can only be reserved by a person with a badge for the weekend. And
yeah, well, it kind of went off like when you actually registered. So all of the pre-registered that registered at con last year had the first choice of like room blocks.
mm-hmm. and it was a system in place to cut down on ghosters, and just to cut down on the people who actually are attending with a badge versus people who are not. One of the incidents that happened during the first day or day zero of Fanime was somebody said in the Fanime Facebook thread that they didn't have a hotel for Fanime because they were overbooking at the Fairmont, and they were reserving hotels that were non-existent.
Yes, that was definitely a very, very big oversight. They were booking like all these rooms, but like I feel like it was like more of a thing of like hey, let's try this new system. As the whole thing is like they keep on trying these like new systems without like having a padding or any kind of like experience in doing these systems, and then it fucks up.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily,
To be fair, though, it's not like their last couple of systems have actually worked when it comes to the hotels. There have been constant website breaks,
true.
long lines. It took me all day last year to get a Fanime room, literally all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, long
I
wall
mean-
times, they're real.
I mean, okay, I can like understand, but like I feel like it's just more of like a like first come first serve fee. I was able to get a room within trying first like hour or so, because I was following everything. But like if you're not following everything, then like it's definitely going to be like a lot harder to get like in the room block around the convention center.
Mm-hmm. And the thing about this, just to kind of to wrap this section about it, is the fact that Fanime is growing and it's going to continue to grow, and
Yeah.
whether Fanime staff knows how to handle 30 plus people, it's still rather a question that I.
Did you say 30 plus?
It's.
Is it 30K plus?
30K plus.
If they can't handle
Up to 30
Whoa.
people.
See, like that's like somebody's room party.
Yeah. My bad. 30,000 plus, I should say. Let me preference that.
sure.
But yeah, like my point stands. Like if they don't know how to handle 30,000 plus people, for a convention that is continue to grow regardless. I question like what is the leadership looking at, and what exactly are they doing to plan for the next year or the coming years? Because off this year, I feel like there's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, no. I mean, okay. I kind of agree, but the whole thing about it is like the way that I feel about it, they they have it down, but it's these little things that should be already fixed. The registration, the fucking room blocks. This shit should already be down and fucking patent already now. For as many years this convention's been going on, this shit had it should have been down by now. It's not, and it's the biggest problems, and that's the only thing that people are complaining about. The convention is awesome.
Well,
As far as I know, there's a lot of shit that's going on that's pretty good, and they were hella on top of the fucking ghosting thing. Could not get up there into the convention center unless you were some sneaky motherfucker.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and just to my last point on this whole thing was that I think one of the other big complaints about Fanime is the fact that Fanime has always been very last minute on everything, like it regard on like guest of honor announcements, on hotels, on registration, like everything they do is
Posting their
always
fucking schedule. They didn't post schedule until like maybe like a week before
yeah,
the convention.
That's really
Yeah,
and it's always been their Achilles.
that's terrible.
Yeah, and it's always been their Achilles heel for the last 4 or 5 years, and it's been their MO. And I feel like at some point, like I don't know. Part of me, at some point, it feels like it's going to affect them in some way. Like it's going to crumble underneath them, like the way that everything's organized.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was going
What
to,
was I saying?
I was going to sort of finish off. But at the same time, I feel like no matter what they do, people are still going to come, and it's going to keep on growing. So like,
Yeah.
it's kind of like a feeling like they need to fix some stuff, and the way they're continuing at this rate may end up being very, very bad for them. But at the same time, they're still gaining new people. So it's like, I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird kind of situation. So
Well,
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess. You go on.
I mean, like I said, so as far as like the way it keeps on like growing, it's just because of the name alone, and then the rep. So this convention has had a rep for I don't know how many years. I've been going to this convention for so long. Awesome rep, it was cool, but they just have these maybe like I would say like 2 or 3 like things that they just need to just fucking fix. Simple as that. They just need to fix it. But they are going on rep alone.
yeah,
Anime is the biggest convention in the Northern California area,
agreed,
hands down.
agreed.
And they're going based off of that name alone, and off of the community that's been going there for years. Go ahead,
Mhm.
Honk.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, honking air is also another name I go by, but
Sorry. I mean, like I don't really.
yeah, it's okay. Honking air is fun. Or anyway, what I was gonna say was also that with what seems to be a more younger crowd, or in general more younger crowd coming in and all to these conventions. There's a good amount of people that just really come to conventions just because they know they can hang out with people with similar interests at these places. Not really necessarily for what's offered at the con in terms of panels or events and all. So it's just like, oh, it's a con, we can go hang like in a gaming hall or something. It's a 24-hour convention. Let's go dick, dick around, watch hentai, go dance or something.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I first started going to family in 2010. There was always like big stuff to look forward to, like 2010, 2011, Flow, and there's like always industry coming. Again, in more recent years, 2014 onwards, there's less of these industry type panels, and they still bring some big name Japanese guests and artists and all, but it's not the same as it was when I first went, if that makes any sense in terms of what's
Yeah, I know it
offered
does.
in terms of programming.
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
this come with your first when I was your age story?
Well, no, like okay, like well, no. Here's like the
Which
whole
is a
thing.
quick comparison.
Oh, okay. It was an in my day story. Got it.
Okay, well, like okay, like the way that I can kind of like understand like what you're kind of saying is like okay, when I first started going to anime, I didn't know anybody, so I went for the events.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
after, but like after years go on, and you start the cosplay, you start the gaming, you start this and that, you start meeting people, and then it's more about the people and the social events outside of the
Yeah,
actual like events that they are offering you.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
And it's not their fault. It's just a matter of just like evolving
yeah.
with
I
a
mean, yeah,
convention, and
exactly,
It's a
exactly,
changing culture.
yeah,
yeah, exactly, exactly,
definitely.
exactly. But as far as like I go, like this year, I was trying to like okay, I'm gonna go to this event. I'm gonna go to that event. I'm going to go to this tournament. I did the AMV thing. I did the masquerade. You know, I mean, yeah. But I kind of like get your whole point. It becomes more of a social thing rather than just going for the events and the guests that are offered from the convention.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, the thing about getting back to the convention, I mean, outside of everything that happened on that the first day or two, one of the things, like we stated earlier.
Anthony, we had a very good first night. Yeah.
Of course we did. Of course we did. One of the things though that we mentioned earlier was that the ghosting and they were trying to cut down via badge of a
They
hotel.
were on top of that shit so
Yeah.
hard.
I was actually impressed. Like they
Yeah, I
actually
was
had
too.
a
I was too.
Prepared me for that. I
I
really
was
did.
too. Yeah.
First anime, I think back '05 or '05 or '04. It was packed. That was on Friday. I only showed up for one day. It was packed wall to wall everywhere.
mm,
Nowhere near as packed. I think I said no ghost.
yeah. I I was very impressed. I think one of the things for people who don't know, who didn't go family this year, they had set up these choke points, to where basically nobody with a badge cannot enter the second floor of the convention center. The first floor is fine if you want to go mingle with cosplayers or take pictures, and or want to do just whatever on the first floor. That's fine. But if you wanted to go to like all the other events in the second floor, like you want to go check out the game room, go to a panel, go to whatever, like you needed a badge, and they set up these checkpoints. And I was curious as far as like how well they kept it. Like I remember going to the convention center like late at night, early in the morning, and there were still people at the checkpoints, like up, like in the dead of night, making sure that nobody went past the guards unless they had a badge. So like I was actually pretty impressed.
Most boredom
They
killers
were
ever.
yeah, no, they were on top of their shit. Cause I remember, cause I had some friends who were like, yeah, like I'm gonna go. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like let me go scout out. Let me go see what's up. And I was like, yeah, I don't know how the fuck you can get in. Good luck, dude. Like, good luck, cause these guys were so on top of their shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that is pretty awesome because I know like within like the last year, ghosting became a very very big topic when it came to Fanime because Fanime was like one of the biggest ghosting cons.
Yeah,
It was
definitely.
yeah yeah.
One of the things though,
They were not taking that shit at all.
yeah,
Good luck getting up there.
yeah. And one of the things that was cool about it is that like if you had a badge and you went to the second floor, like there was no need to have like okay, an occasional they'll have like some staff at the at the dealer's hall still wanting to see a badge.
Yeah.
But like if you wanted to go to any other place, like you didn't really there was nobody there to check your badge because like you already were given access. So like I could walk into like the artist alley, and not to just, present my badge every time I wanted to walk
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. So like that was pretty cool. It's like yeah, like I get in, I'm like up here and like it had actually there was never a line for the dealer's room like there was last year. There was
Mm-hmm.
never a line for artist alley like there was last year.
Right. Right.
It was
Yeah.
just like it was like hey, like everybody's cool as long as you're up here on the second floor, you're all good. Don't have to fucking don't have to allocate staff or volunteers to these doors to check people and make a line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if some of that crowding though was also let out a bit by the Fairmont's problems. You know, not as many people able to stay within the block since a lot of them were just given the quiet boot further down the road.
Possibly. I mean.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, really, I was fortunate enough to like not have to deal with that. But as far as like I know, it wasn't like something where it was like a massive like hundreds of people getting like blocked out of like Fairmont. It was like 20. Even though that's still like a lot of people, though, it's not on like the scale that, as far as like I know, like they try to make it be like, oh my god, fucking hundreds of people cannot stay at Fairmont. They're all getting shuttled off to like somewhere else. Like, no, it wasn't that big as far as I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in general, like I think that the crowd control was actually pretty good this year. They did a pretty good job on everything about it.
And then dance had like no fucking line. Remember that shit, Anthony?
Okay. To be fair,
There's usually a line.
Ramen. To be fair, when we went, it was like late at night when like everybody has gone or has left, and it's like, dude, like there's not gonna be line regardless. But it was fine. I think that so. Throughout the entire weekend, I'm just more curiosity about with you guys. Like, what were some of the things you guys checked out at Fanime this year?
I was about to say I was kind of limited between just kind of running around trying to do everything and talk to people who wanted to talk to me in the swap meet. The swap meet was horribly limiting on day one. I say that not because I didn't sell stuff or because I didn't make a decent amount of money. I say that because day one didn't technically start till after opening ceremonies was done at 2. And, swap meet setup was at about 6. So that meant I had a very small window of time to actually see things as they started.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you go more in depth with the swap meet? Because I was actually planning to go in the first night, but was unable to. Well, I should say the second night, actually, I should say. How was the swap meet this year?
It was lively. There were more people looking for bargains. Okay, getting a space is pretty simple. All you gotta do is register when they open it up, and it's only $40 per night or $80 per the 2 nights it's open, which is night 0 and night 1 of Fanime. They don't give you a table. What they give you is a roughly 4 by 10 foot space, or no, 4 by 8 foot is closer to it, where you can just put all your stuff down. You're not allowed to play music or have any extra monitors or anything, and you're not allowed to have any displays that would block the people behind you. The rule for that I'm not entirely clear on, simply because it just, I don't know, being able to see across and more people sitting down doesn't seem like an advantage to me.
Yeah.
So people would just kind of shuffle by, look at your wares, and more often they want to wheel and deal than they want to talk about how much you actually want for stuff, which is, it's a swap meet. That's everybody's business. The real special thing came on night 2, the second night of the swap meet for me, because I had a few Comic-Con exclusives at my space. And the first night, none of them moved. But the second night, I had a bunch of people stop and stare at a set of Magic the Gathering Planeswalker cards I had.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, I had next.
Fuck.
Let me lay it out to you, because this.
Tell me what you had. Tell me what you had. I'm sorry.
Okay, I had Magic the Gathering. I had the Magic the Gathering Planeswalker set, the Hasbro 2015 exclusive. I had the Udon exclusive, which is the Akamon Street Fighter design book with a special cover, and it was signed and doodled in by Akamon himself. And I had the Kotobukiya Red She-Hulk from 2015, all in my space.
Nice.
I managed to hold on to the other two. The Planeswalker was kind of in big contention with a lot of people because it retailed for $125 when I bought it. It was worth about $350 the nights I was selling it. I let it go for $275. And the funny thing is, the guy that bought it technically didn't buy it.
Wait, what?
Explain.
The guy asked me about it, and I told him it's the first time I'm ever opening it up because my wife had one. I didn't need to open up the other one. So I showed him everything inside to show it was all legit, then I put it back, and he said he might be back in a little bit. He was gone for about 20 minutes. He came back with 9 other people.
Oh, shit.
And he was standing a good 3 feet away from my space and with his back to me while all of them were talking, and I'm thinking these guys are going to jump me and try and steal my stuff. But as I'm watching him, all of a sudden, the one guy who was talking to me earlier, he holds out his hands, and everybody else in this group starts stacking up bills in his hands.
God damn.
Yeah, well, no, because the Planeswalker set, it's actually a very big multiplayer set, and actually, it is very good. You got rid of it right now because they're reprinting that shit within the next like 6 months.
Didn't know about that, but it
And
was just
they
kind of
didn't know about that shit.
it was just kind of hilarious to watch them stack up bills, and then he turned around and just said, I got 200, and they stack up more bills, and then he just, then he counts it again, he calls me over, and he counts it out in front of me like he's a banker or something, and I just picked up the box and said, it's yours.
How much did it go for then?
That's tight.
$275. I sold it
That is
for
so
more than
tight.
twice what I paid for it.
Nice.
That
wow.
is so tight because that shit's gonna be reprinted in like 6 months. It's gonna be like $75 maybe at the most, I would say.
And the odd thing is the exclusives I kept are the ones that aren't being reprinted. So it's just like, wow.
My God, dude.
That's hilarious.
I had a lot of nice conversations while I was there. There was one guy who waffled for an hour on buying like some of my Alter, Hyaka, Ryor, and Samurai Girls figures, but he ended up not doing it, so I went home with those as well. It's like I was telling my wife on the phone afterwards. She asked me, how'd you do? It's like big money items, made some money, going home with stuff I wouldn't mind going home with. It's a pretty good mix of all things.
It's like what you should have said is that there's a group of Magic the Gathering players that I fucked in the ass, and like I hella got away with it.
That's great. That's awesome. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, one of my only regrets out of this convention was not able to go to the swap meet this year. But yeah, no, it's good to hear.
There was some pretty bomb stuff. If I had a little more time out of my space, I probably would have left about $200 lighter because some guy was selling a Retron 5 that had barely been used, and I've been looking for one for a little while.
Sick.
Somebody else was selling like a fat PS2 for $45, which is a pretty good deal actually.
Wow, those still exist. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. You can actually find them at flea markets.
That's true, but still.
So Sega Genesis out there.
Yeah, there was.
Sick.
Yeah, there were some people selling some good stuff. Somebody bought one of my OG Xboxes for $20.
Damn.
Would have hella bought that.
Sick.
Fuck.
Yes.
It didn't have cables or cords or anything. It was just an Xbox, and I still have another one.
I have all the cables and cords. I would have hella bought that.
I think that's kind of the nifty thing about the swap meet. If you got some weird odds and ends in your collection that just don't matter to you and you want to get rid of, put it out there with a Post-it and see what happens.
Exactly, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Okay, cool. Awesome. So one of the things that it always intrigued me just because of like what exactly, I want to know the kind of the feel of what everybody was feeling. Like this year, I would kind of talking to people, just kind of like hanging out with like friends, but then like meeting new people as well. Like I feel like the interesting thing I got from my friends of mine is they said that they were not feeling it this year. Like something about this year's Fanime, they weren't quite. They couldn't quite pinpoint what exactly, but like they can't. But like this year to them, what it was okay. Like it wasn't, quite, the best as it was, other years.
Okay, well, okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Freight.
I was going to say, based on my experience, that could be a number of things. It seemed like there was as many people hanging around in the general areas outside, so not as much social opportunity to be had. It could be because the convention center staff did a great job keeping ghosts outside of sensitive areas, so you couldn't walk through the convention center to get anywhere anymore unless you really knew what you were doing. Yep. It could also be just the idea that it did seem like there was just less people in general around. And, it sounds kind of sad to say, but Fanime's been doing this for I don't know how long, and the structure of the convention really hasn't changed in the 7 years since I personally started going to the convention.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It changed more in that they are using more of the areas that are away from the actual convention center, like a civic auditorium.
Yeah.
Well, no.
They used to have panels within the confines of the Marriott Hotel. They moved it to the Fairmont Hotel.
Okay, hold on. I need to respond to that. They have always used the Civic Center. Always.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They
know that.
I mean, like they've always used that. They've always been pretty good. The last 3 years or so, they have had panels in the first it was Marriott, but then Fairmont as well.
Yeah.
And they've been doing that for the past few years. So I feel like they are using their space very well. the whole thing that makes it seem maybe kind of smaller in the I would call it the like twilight hours. It's super late, and it's because you don't have the ghost there anymore. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Which I mean, it's kind of like a good thing, but it's kind of like a bad thing because like sometimes you can like interact with these ghost people who are there. Like last year there were people there and they were all ghosting, but they had brought instruments and they were out there and they're playing music in the middle of the night, and that was awesome. This year it just didn't happen.
It kind of highlights a bigger conversation that I've been having with people since last year's Anime Expo, really, in that there is this huge crowd that I don't want to say goes to the conventions, but follows them
Yeah.
around, hangs out in the hotels, just kind of drinks for a while, and
Mhm.
they hang out in the common areas of the conventions. In the case of Anime Expo, it would be the lobbies of the convention center. And Fanime, it used to be all over the buildings, anywhere
Yeah.
that didn't require a badge to get into.
Yeah.
Anime Los Angeles, because everything was in one hotel, there wasn't any place without ghosts, really.
Mhm.
So I
Exactly.
I think since Fanime really managed to limit the ghosting, it felt just emptier.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like there was that sense of it. Definitely, right? But as far as going back to like the whole background noise. So okay, so as far as like as far as like going back to the whole like point that he was getting at was the whole thing like some people were like about things. I feel like the whole thing about fanime especially it depends on like who you go with and what you do.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if you are by yourself and you're not doing anything, you're not going to like the masquerade, you're not going to the cosplay meetups, you're not going to this or that or this or that, this or that. Then yeah, of course you're not gonna have fun. Or if you go and you don't have friends, you don't know anybody, then yeah, definitely.
Right, and again, this is to each their own. Like we have a different experience as far as like how we perceive anime. Whether
Yeah,
our viewpoints are more subdued versus somebody else's viewpoints is gonna say like I loved it. It was everything was
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Same here. I've been going here for shit almost about close to like 10 years now,
Who is
and
so damn happy?
yeah, who the hell is that? So I've been going there for about like 10 years or so, and this year was like one of my favorites because I went to actual events, I participated in video game tournaments, I got to see a lot of my friends, I got to see Anthony, I got to go to the dance, I got to do all kinds of shit,
Mhm. Right.
and like it's just because that's just like the way that I did it. That's the way I chose to do things. So if you choose to do things in the right way, you're gonna have fun. If
Right.
not, then you're not gonna have fun.
It's just a weird thing to hear from my friends of mine saying like they weren't quite feeling this con as was previous cons, and maybe it was funny like one of them even brought up like I
Now
brought to
who's
him.
beating up crabs? What the frick?
Jesus Christ, who has a background noise? Please just push to talk. Push to talk is your friend.
um, I was gonna say like my friends were, well, one of them actually brought up the point that it definitely felt smaller, and and then I brought up the point like maybe they actually cut down on ghosters. And it's like, oh hey, maybe you're right.
Yeah.
So maybe the fact that because of that there's less people going to Fanime, and because of that, but at the same time it tells Fanime like who are actually attending the convention, who are what the real numbers per se with the badges versus trying to guess how many actually bought badges and attended versus how many with badges but also were ghosts in the same time in previous years. So
Yeah. I
it's
mean,
it's interesting.
it's really weird about their numbers, but I just know like on the first day, uh, convention center was fucking packed.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday was fucking packed. At night, maybe it might have not been so packed, which is understandable because that's when usually the ghosts come out at night. You know what I mean? And like they're
Hmm.
out there, they're chilling out, they're trying to do this or that. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, yeah.
I mean, but I mean like as far as like I'm concerned, like I feel like the way that they had cut down on ghosting was a very good thing,
Hmm.
in my opinion. That's what
Yeah.
I.
Right,
You
no,
know what I mean?
and
Because dude, I spent $70 on my fucking badge.
hmm
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I agree. I think that cutting down on ghosting is actually a good thing for
Yeah.
Fanime.
Definitely.
It's kind of weird though, just how things are turned out, and it's a good thing, but at the same time, I had this conversation with friends of mine saying like, this convention, some about it does not feel right or just is okay. So it's weird. It's a weird feeling. But regardless, um, out of everything though, I think that for me, like it kept me busy. Like there's definitely some events and panels and other stuff I definitely checked out. Um, I think my question to you guys is like, what are some of the like stuff you checked out at Fanime? I mean, that you guys had time for.
Do you
You'll
guys
have
want
to
me to
ask
go
them.
first,
I
or
I
what?
focused on people and personal interactions for the most part. The for me it was the same thing in last year in that the distance of the panels between the Fairmont and the convention proper,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of hampered my interest in
Yeah.
checking out things I was moderately into, or if I
Mm-hmm.
just looked at the schedule and said maybe that'd be cool, but that means
Mm-hmm.
I got to walk away from everything else going on, stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
For me
No,
too.
the whole distance between the convention center to the Fairmont, even though I was staying at the Fairmont, it was kind of bullshit. It was like, okay, like seriously, I need to walk like all the way over there, like unless I am like a diehard fan of this or that, or
Yeah.
I'm like really 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 want to be a part of that shit. No, I'm not gonna walk all the way back over there. Fuck
Mm-hmm.
that shit.
Agreed.
Even if I can get a $5 hot dog on the way, fuck that shit. No,
I personally
I
do
was
not
so
mind
tempted
the
to get
walk.
one of those.
those no, dude. The fucking street meat is amazing, so good. But no, I'm not. I'm not gonna do that shit.
You were saying, Lynn?
I personally didn't mind the walk from the convention center and to the Fairmont. Like I stayed at Fairmont myself, like the ramen gig, but
Well, I didn't
like
say
it made,
I didn't say I hated the walk. What I said was the walk
yeah.
was far enough that it killed my interest. It was
See,
just one of
that's
those
Yeah,
cases where
yeah,
I wasn't going to test out to see if something was cool to walk away from something I was pretty sure was already cool.
yeah. Exactly. So
Mm,
it's like, okay. So look. So I will give you a example. There's a video game tournament that I could enter,
sure.
or I can go to a JoJo's panel, which is like, okay, like I'm sort of kind of into JoJo's, but I'm not like a hardcore fan. I'm interested in it, but it's like, okay, am I gonna be like right here where I can like walk like maybe like 5 minutes down to go take part in this video game tournament, or am I gonna go all the way down, take a 10-minute walk back to the Fairmont and get into a JoJo's panel that I'm not completely into? No,
Yeah.
no,
That's fair
I'm gonna
enough.
go to I'm gonna go to video game tournament. I'm gonna go check that out.
I can see
That's
your.
fair enough. That's
That
just,
that
like,
that and Anthony can tell you I am fucking obesely fat.
okay. Okay.
Go
I like
ahead,
to,
Rin.
I'll make that like to a couple of panels myself. But I would still want to walk from either wherever the heck I was. If I was like you, if I was coming from the convention center, it wasn't too big of a deal. I would just go early enough so that I'll be there on time for the panel.
Yeah,
Like,
see, so it is the way it goes with like everything.
yeah,
It just comes down to your personal preference on things.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, like, I definitely attend some panels, but I definitely I had those moments where like there was a panel I kind of want to go check out, but it was kind of a walk, and do I really want to make that walk? I'm already kind of tired as it is, so.
Yeah.
kind of also had to get
Okay.
there early enough to be able to get guaranteed into the panel.
Okay, so
That's true, too,
Anthony,
yeah.
I have a good idea for your question. Is we can go down the line,
Okay.
give your favorite event that you went to,
Mhm.
and maybe like worst event, maybe like a pro and con type of thing, and you pick who goes first.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Ramen.
Fuck you, man.
That was a setup. That was a setup.
God damn it, dude.
Hoisted by the zone petard.
No. Okay. Okay.
now he's under pressure.
No, exactly. I'm gonna sit here fucking sweating now. Okay, so my favorite event was the AMV contest.
Mm.
I actually hadn't checked out the AMV contest in like a very long time, but I went this year. It was awesome. They had very, very, very awesome AMVs. Amazing. But the actual winners,
Mhm.
and then I came home and I was like, yeah, I want to like check out like this AMV like I saw and it was awesome and it was funny. I want to show my friends with that. I went to go check it out, and it was like, oh, hey, like all the winners like already won at like Anime Boston and like East Coast conventions and or like SoccerCon. It's like, oh fuck. So like it wasn't like anything like new, and like that was like the whole bummer of it. But
Oh, that's dumb.
yeah,
Wow.
like that was the whole bummer of it. But it was still cool to see them, and I kind of wish that like maybe they would do their research more and be like, hey, like it needs to be only like new submissions, as in like you have like this amount of time to make it. It cannot be a part of another convention. But
I thought that was some rules they already set up already.
It varies by the convention, dude.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
it definitely varies. But like everything that basically won had already won at like Anime Boston. And then the other events that I went to, I entered the Tetris tournament, and then I entered it was a late night Overwatch tournament.
Mm-hmm.
That was that was cool, but then it was also bullshit because like we won our first round and it was like already midnight, so I was like, I'm out. And then that
We got a 24-hour convention.
I went to the cosplay masquerade, which is like another event that I hadn't been to for like a while, and the cosplay masquerade was very cool. It was pretty awesome. Those are like the like main things I had actually went to. Like as far as like smaller panels with that, I didn't really get to like check out. I spent most of my time getting fucked up and you know and like walking around and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Uh, Rin, what's some of the events you checked out? 'Cause I know for sure one of them you checked out the musical event.
Yeah, Music Fest, which
yeah.
I try to make it. I try to make it a thing to go every year because I feel as like if I had to pick one family event that I want to check out at least once or twice if during your time during the years ago with anime, it's Music Fest.
Ah,
So,
gotcha.
but like, and for those who don't know, Music Fest is when anime brings in an actual music artist from Japan to perform for Saturday night at a civic auditorium across the street from the convention center. Anyway, what was really odd about this year's guest is that I looked for it, so their name was Dice. It's spelled D-A dash ice,
Mm-hmm.
but they say it's pronounced Dice. Anyway,
The ice.
yeah, so it's not the ice, it's Dice. Anyway,
I know, but every time I read it, it's just the ice.
yeah. Anyway, I looked them up beforehand, and I found that they didn't actually perform any songs for any anime, which I found a little odd because previous guests, from my knowledge, have had some involvement with anime. 2010, 2011 Flow. They, everyone knows like they did all these anime songs like Naruto, Code Geass, Eureka 7, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
You had Masashika Yuya, who did a song for Black Butler. Then we had Back On in 2015. More recently, they did some music. I think Bleach was one of them, and maybe more. I think they also did Naruto. I don't remember. Yeah, but I know they did Bleach for sure.
I can answer your question as far as that what them. I mean, it may not be the reason, but it's kind of just interesting to point out. Um, majority of the like the more popular Japanese bands were actually like literally announced like was it a couple of days prior or like a week prior from Fanime and like they were all going to Anime Expo.
Are you talking about the Anime Song World Mastery thing?
Yeah. So
That's only to be fair, out of what Japan has to offer, that's actually a pretty small fraction.
true.
Like
True.
it's
But
very
in the comparison though of like what Fanime was offering, what Anime Expo was offering was like wide margins. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Is it fair to say that Anime Expo is offering it since another company had to bring it?
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is from a different It is from another company, to be fair. But anyway, yeah, Dice Music Fest. They were surprisingly pretty pleasant to be there and watch him perform. Like, he had some pretty sick dance moves and coordination and all that. But if I had to describe him, I'll describe him. I think one of my friends that I was interacting with for the whole weekend put it best when they said, "Guys, it's a J-pop group that acts as if they're K-pop."
Oh, huh. Funny.
Like they
Wow.
have, like they have, like they have, like they're a K-pop group, but in their K-pop in that a lot of their songs have hip hop roots and all, and it's
So
a really
they
called
are
like a it's a really called a
J-pop.
yeah you could kind of call it that. The music styles are more influenced by Western hip hop, more like kind of like the way K-pop is.
I see. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Interesting.
yeah, and there's a pretty big crowd for it. Because what a good thing about Fanime is that with paying for your Fanime badge, you get free access to Music Fest. So
Yeah.
why not take advantage of it? You know?
I
Right,
mean,
right.
like, so is that the only event that you went to? Did you go to anything else?
hmm
Did you?
Yeah. Anyway, wait, what?
Did you go to anything else other than Music Fest?
Other than Music Fest, I also went to a couple of panels. I went to a panel with the cosplay duo Aikasu
Hmm.
for a panel on they call it posing like a pro.
Ah, gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it actually gives some pretty useful tips. Ensure you basically stress your body so that it looks as if your body's doing something more dynamic.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
so then you're like really big into the cosplay scene then.
yeah, I'm a pretty big
Okay,
cosplayer.
I see.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't call myself like a famous cosplayer, but
Yeah, yeah, Robin.
This
What,
is- Go
yeah,
ahead.
no, I was gonna say, yeah, Robin. What gave you the first clue? There's a picture of him right in Skype right now in cosplay.
Really? Is that his picture? Oh my God! I thought that's just like was his waifu.
I would call that character more like. If anything, I would call myself a real life incarnation of her, but that's a story for another day. Um,
Yeah.
oh shit, I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah. So that panel was pretty interesting. And there's also a panel with one of the guests. Just need to pull up. I have trouble remembering names sometimes, you know.
Mhm.
Just gotta like go pull up a quick name somewhere. It was that one guy. I just know he did a lot of tokusatsu back in the day, and he also did recent voicing for anime.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Um, if I like, I'm trying to pull up his name right now. I am so bad with names. I should like actually pay attention to this, but I am not.
Nah, that's fine. That's fine. Um.
Yeah, it
You be
was
tweaking.
Sakaguchi Daisuke. There we go.
Mm.
Oh yeah, wasn't he the Oh man.
He recently did one of the characters in Mobile Suit Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans, and he was also in Super Sentai in the past.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Cool, awesome.
He had a little Q&A panel, and he got to talk about some pretty interesting things like how it was like to be in San Jose and almost get inside Google and all
Mhm.
that. And along with like answering questions about when people ask him about the industry and all, like a very interesting. I don't know if any of you know about this, but apparently for him, by back in his day of recording for Tokusatsu series by Super Sentai,
Mhm.
you'll do the live action recording, and then you'll go back to your studio and dub over it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So that was kind of a similar process for like the Power Rangers over here. Like
Yeah,
the Power Rangers over here actually, yeah, it was like they took the footage from Japan, but then like they dubbed over it, the English voice actors.
yeah.
And yeah, no, that's definitely something that has
Yeah.
happened before.
And because of that, it gave him an easier transition to voicing for anime characters and doing
Oh, okay.
radio shows and all that. And he says that he thinks that you took today's tokusatsu actors, like you took like people from the more current Kamen Rider series or something, and try
Mhm.
to put them into anime, they'll have a harder time to transition because they do both the live action recording and voice recording all at once.
Nice. Awesome.
So yeah, that was actually an interesting fact to find out from that panel. The more you know.
Mhm.
G.I.
That's cool.
Joe.
Yeah, that was mainly it for panels and Gamers Music Fest.
Cool.
I guess if we're going to talk about gaming events, I also went to the 3-on-3 Wise Wars tournament.
Ah, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
For those who don't know, Wise Wars is a card game made by Bushiroad. You literally play with cards from different anime or video game series, and you duke it out against other people's decks of their favorite anime or video game series or what
It's
have
it's
you.
it's like basically like it's a trading card game with waifus in it. Like
Or you can have a sparkles
Waifus
too.
card
Like I see
games.
people sporting like Phantom Requiem of the Phantom, or there was also people playing Persona, or
oh yeah, definitely. It's a cool. The cool thing I liked about it is the fact that like it's so widespread to different characters. Like you can have like your favorite characters in a deck and like play against other people. So it's like, all right, that's pretty cool.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Cool.
that was mainly it for me in terms of the con events themselves.
Awesome. Um, for me, real quick, the events and stuff I checked out. I checked out some panels events. I think one of the more interesting ones I checked out. I think two of them to me, ironically, both were the same host. The first panel I checked out was Makeup for Dudes, and that was hosted by our friend G. He and he was basically kind of just going through like the entire process of which you can actually look on YouTube actually as well. But like he went through the entire process of like, what exactly type of makeup you want to get if you're a guy who want to cosplay or you want to look better in cosplay, and just kind of went into like the basics of what a guy needs. And there were a lot of females in there that also gave great advice. At one point, there was actually a makeup artist, a professional makeup artist that's actually in the panel attending, and she gave some very good advice. And at the end, she was like really impressed as far as like what G was offering in terms of advice. So it was really good. It was really informative. I actually talked to him afterwards, because, I was like having a cosplay on Sunday that was like my face was in blue paint. So I need to ask him. I need to ask him for some advice as far as like how to make it withstand throughout the day. The other panel, which to this day I feel like it's probably my favorite panel every year so far in the past 3-4 years. Cosplay Racing Federation. Holy shit! That
CFW.
Yes, that panel, hands down. After going to the panel this year, I feel that it is so good and it is very very proper. I feel like Fanime should make it a main event. Like,
Oh boy.
Wow.
Are you
Sorry.
building a finally go come out and finally see it with my own eyes?
I swear, Fanime should just, like how they have like a masquerade and a music fix in the Civic Center or in the building across the convention center. Like I want to see CWF in that building, just like
On that
Sorry.
stage.
For those of you that don't understand why I laugh hysterically, I was in the center of that.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
I was there with you.
Yeah.
No, it was very great. Everybody who participated, as the wrestlers who were doing their promos, every one of them did really, really, really well. There's definitely not one I felt like that didn't do too well, and the crowd reactions were great. I loved it. Like it was nuts. But yeah, no, and since we're on topic, like Jeremy, like you and Jesse were obviously in the event. Like in your perspective, and you kind of talked about this in the podcast, which I got from you this past week. But like what, like in your perspective, like what was your feeling for this year than previous years?
Remembered something?
The crowd could have eaten us alive, frankly. They were
Oh boy.
they were pumped up before anything even started, which was kind of frightening. Usually they just kind of sit around and half of them are thinking, can they actually wrestle on that stage? Are they going to hit anybody? Am I going to see blood or what, man? But no, it's like 3/4 of the crowd seemed to know exactly what was coming in, and
Oh boy.
over the course of the night, I don't think I saw more than a dozen people leave the panel room, which, by the way, was the biggest panel room Fanime had, and it was just about full the entire damn night.
Yeah. I mean, like they basically do like a lot of like the major cons. Like they do like SAC Anime, which is like the con like I work. They do Fanime. They do a bunch of other cons too. They like CWF.
Yeah, they're going. They've already been
They're-
approved for Anime Expo, actually.
Dude, those guys
Sick.
are on top of their shit. They're so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to talk a little crossover promotion, the latest episode of the Rollin' Twenties, or a recent episode, I should say, we taped at Fanime. We spent a good hour with just about everybody from that night's performance.
Oh my god, I'm gonna watch the shit out of that. But you can watch it at MrStarPodcast.com.
Well, look, here's the thing. If you're listening to his podcast right now, that means that podcast is actually up right now. So after you listen to this one, listen to that one. Or if you haven't already, then welcome to the second part of it.
But hey, don't leave
The
this one.
follow up.
You can pause this one, listen to that one, then you have to come back.
Right.
No, but getting
That's
back
a
onto
murder.
getting back on the Cosplay Wrestling Federation event. The thing about G is that he's done this now for about 3 years. And I don't mean 3 full years. I mean, this is the 3rd year anniversary. And I think he understands now how to get the crowd up, and he knows how to prepare his performers for what to expect and how to enhance whatever their plan is. He really does understand this crowd very well, and he uses it to full effect.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal job. So definitely, those are kind of the two panels that stood out to me. I attended other events as well. I think my only regret. No, okay, take that back. The 2 more things. My only regret was I didn't spend enough time, or I did on the last day, but like I always miss a point to where I want to go to the hentai room because it's not because like I kind of miss going back and just like laughing hysterically with everybody else.
Yeah,
and-
you just okay. Look. Just be honest. You miss every now and then during Fanime looking at tits.
No, it's not that.
Well, he would see less of him, except I kept my shirt on.
No, I just kind of miss. I went on the last day, and I was pretty tired then, and I was laughing
Nah,
hysterically. at the time.
so Friday he got enough of my tits. That's basically why he was hungering for it.
But like the other thing that I think I guess disappointment in terms of like event wise, like there was a panel I was going to attend to. I want to say Saturday night. I want to say I was on. It was going to be the dubbing for Bible Black like panel.
Oh boy.
That sounds awesome.
Like I was, and
I want to feel your dick.
like here's the thing. Like I got there early, because like I wanted to go check it out. I don't want to wait in a long line. I happened to be the first in line. It's like, okay, cool, awesome. Like 5-10 minutes before the panel started, one of the staff people at Fanime came out and says that the panel was canceled, and everybody was just bummed. I was.
Why? Were they like missing people or like what? Did they give a reason?
They didn't give a reason. My guess maybe that the people didn't show up, or I don't know. Like,
yeah.
I still miss that.
yeah, like I was bummed. So I was like, man, I was just went back to the con and went to something else.
I mean, like I like all these panels where it's just like you have like these like cool ideas like the CFW or like the Bible Black, like live fucking dub and stuff like that. But it's like you have like all these other panels too where it's just like why are they there? Where it's like you have like all these like cosplay Q&A things where it's like I'm gonna cosplay as a character and you ask me questions because I don't know. Are you a voice actor? Did you do the art? No. Okay, well then like why do I care to ask you questions about this anime?
And I'll answer that to the fact that like it's to each their own. I mean like
yeah, I mean no,
whatever.
I know, definitely yes. But I'm speaking like if from a personal standpoint,
Right,
it's like
right.
like why do I care getting your opinion on anime when I can just like whatever.
I mean
You
you
know,
can,
Purely for a different audience.
like you can argue
It's just-
you can argue a lot of things. Like, you can like
Yeah.
like you can like say it's like I can buy this figurine in a dealer's hall much cheaper online than in person. Or
yeah, but that's kind of like a different thing,
I know, but like I'm
Yeah.
just saying like there's definitely things you can counter that you can do probably cheaper or easier on your own versus doing it at the con, and I get it, but
I
Yeah.
think what I want to say, I'll give an input what I think is the appeal of these Q&A cosplayer as a character
Yeah.
panels.
Okay, go ahead. Give
I think the idea is just more like fans like to put in their own headcanons and interpretations of a character. So they get to
Okay.
go a little like risque, or they get going to bounds where official material or people behind the official material will not delve into.
Yeah, I see, I see.
Some people
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Mhm.
Some people are very like into like their own like headcanon.
Yeah.
Personally, though, I like the canon that's like intended by the writer and the
Mhm.
series because I like it because of what it is, not because of like
Yeah, for
what
sure.
you know what I mean of like what it
Yeah,
could
for
be.
sure.
But no,
Mhm.
but no, I will totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Are we enjoying this
I
train
I
trip?
can see the
Because we are
wavelengths.
way off track.
No, we are hella fucking off track. Go ahead.
I will say one last thing though is that uh, the cosplay lounge slash like repair station at Fanime was a godsend. L-
Dude, those guys were on point.
Yeah, because I end up being in there a bit more often than I was going to begin with because where it was located it was in the convention center where the in the video where it used to be the video room area
Yeah.
like a year ago. It was in that area, and it was the first like door to the right. And yeah, this huge open space that was originally intended for like the video room is now used for the cosplay lounge slash repair station. No, there was no photography in there, so like if you want to take a
Yeah.
picture, you gotta take it outside. It was air conditioned. There was stuff to repair your cosplay chairs
Yeah,
and tables.
they had water and everything like that.
Yeah, it was great. It was
So
awesome.
so during Sunday, my girlfriend, she has a like semi fursuit type of thing,
Hmm.
and like literally she had walked up and the staff was like on it. They were just like, "Are you okay? Like I know it's hot. Do you want water? Come over here. We have a fan." Like this the staff, like I have to like applaud them. They were just so on top of their shit. Like, "Are you okay?" And like, "Do you need water? Are you hot? Come
Do
over
you need a
here."
safe space? We'll
Do
shut
you,
down the vendors for a
dude,
while.
it was like, hey, how thirsty are the people around you? Because we will get them water too if they're thirsty about you. Like
Oh.
they were on top of their shit.
Yeah, definitely,
They were
definitely.
so cool about it. Like, and
Hmm.
like I was like basically like her like handler, and they were just like, yeah, like here you can have some water too, and like you're cool over here, and we're just like, yeah, like this shit is hella tight. Like they were so awesome and like welcoming and very nice to everybody.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And those are just the kind of the main things I want to point out there about the con that I felt was, you know, the more things I enjoyed when I was there. But yeah, um, and Jesse and Jeremy, I would ask you guys, but Jeremy said already, is he was definitely busy more with the social aspect. Jesse, for you, was there some other events or panels you checked out during the con, or?
Oh, there was one I wanted to check out, but one I was too tired, and two it was a walk. But I actually drove back and forth. I didn't actually stay in San Jose.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha.
Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
he took the
that was
long.
kind of rough.
He took Fanime the hard way, like literally.
God
Yeah.
damn,
No,
Jesus.
I was there all day Friday, which was kind of a disappointment because the con started at 2,
Mm-hmm.
which was
Yeah,
like, what are we supposed to do now?
All right. Oh yeah, yeah. And like the first day, there was literally there was like barely anything happening. Like I remember I was there, I got my badge, and I walked up the stairs, and the only thing that was like remotely open was the game room. Everything else was either being set up still, or you just kind of take pictures of cosplayers or like lounge around. So really,
Yeah.
there really wasn't anything to do at that time.
Yeah, other than that, I show up on Sunday for the cosplay wrestling thing. And that was after work, which, I got out at 2, and I took a 2-hour drive down to San Jose.
my
So,
question to you, because you're Master Mario's like handler or like his bodyguard, like when you were there standing there and kind of observing everything that's happening right in front of you, like what's your initial thoughts going through your head as like Jeremy over here is just making a fool of himself like in front of like a good crowd?
that's Tuesday. What the frick are you talking about?
the only thought going through my mind is don't break character, don't break character, don't break. Damn it, broke character.
He did say a couple of times he had trouble keeping a straight face based on the weird dialogue I was pushing.
Oh. That's awesome.
You know, but he usually stands behind me, so I can't see stuff like that. I'm just doing my best to rail and be an a-hole for a little while.
Well, my job is to make sure no one gets near you. You're the show.
The only time in my life anyone will ever say that. Even my wife would say, "You ain't all that."
Nice. Okay, that's cool. So I think I'll go around it, like, just around the table. I mean, like, the only thing that I would say that's, I'll throw the dimensions is just that, one, like, Dealers Hall, I bought some cool shit, but, like, nothing particularly different this year than was last year. Like, maybe just a few other different vendors, but,
Oh, there was a guy that had a piece I needed, and it was over a year and a half old. I'm surprised he still had it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I found the Mega House Elf from Dragon's Crown.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
And the guy wasn't even offering it at a premium. He offered it to me at retail.
Sick.
Nice.
So I made out ahead on that one.
Awesome. How much was it?
It was 150.
Okay.
I bought that, and I bought a new keyboard. I needed a keyboard for a while, and the same dealer had a Steins Gate keyboard that was out of print, so I'm just like, hey, why the frick not?
Cool.
Steins Gate.
Yeah?
You got that one cheap.
Dr. Pepper
yeah.
sounds pretty good right now, actually.
Yeah. Definitely. I was gonna say, like, Dealers Hall was a Dealers Hall. I can't really say much about it. I did buy a few things. I think
They had a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
It had a lot of cool stuff, but it was
Art
kind of
Alley.
dialed. I thought it was kind of dialed down compared to a lot of conventions.
I mean,
I'm not saying it didn't have a decent amount of wares, but it didn't seem to have the same kind of overwhelming, like, senses filling experience that I've had at a lot of halls. It was just
So,
more straightforward. You want to buy anything? No? Okay, thank you. And that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, okay, like, I kind of, so, like, my whole thing about it is, like, okay, if you've been to one Dealers Hall in a convention, a big convention, I'm talking about, like, SAC Anime, Fanime,
SAC Anime.
that, right? They have, okay, a lot of the shit that is in Fanime you can buy at SAC Anime. I'll tell you that right now. Which is getting to my point, is that the whole thing about it is, like, a lot of vendors that you'll see, they're selling the same shit. They sell the same shit year after year after year. If you want some good shit, you want some new shit, some different shit, go to Artist Alley.
Yeah.
That is the way I feel like. Okay.
And
that is just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
If, like, I work a bunch of conventions throughout the year, so I see a lot of the same shit in the actual Dealers Hall.
Mm-hmm.
But I go to the Artist Alley because that's where I know I'm going to find something different. I'm going to find the different shirt. I'm going to find a different print. I'm going to find a different plushie.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I do.
I don't know. I found a crocheted flail at that last convention I went to.
Right, but I mean, that was cool, but that was, like, at a Brony convention, Jesse.
I wasn't expecting to find that at Brony convention.
No,
True.
hold on.
True.
Brony and furry dealers are very different.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
You know what?
They have kind of a different audience.
It's like night and day.
Mm-hmm.
If I can,
You'll kind of sort of see the new shit, but at least when they come the next year, they have something new.
okay, if you're done beating him up over the hooves crowd, I just wanted to interject for a second.
Go ahead.
I wanted to say
Richard
that
Stallman.
I think the strength in Fanime doesn't lie in its dealers hall, the hotels,
Definitely.
or like a lot of the events going on. I think the real strength in Fanime comes from its level of cosplay, which is really high compared to a lot of other places.
Oh yes, definitely,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. I am not one to fanboy over cosplay and to take pictures of cosplay. I'm more like casual type of guy.
Mhm.
But oh my god, I took so many pictures of cosplays.
Yes.
I took so many pictures of cosplays. There was a perfect Yuna in Titus.
Mm-hmm.
There was a fucking diva in the suit, and there was a tracer, and just awesome. Awesome cosplays.
Fanime cosplay has always been
High
really,
level.
Yeah, always really good, and
Yeah.
they never disappoint no matter what.
Mhm.
Like, I think for me, thinking back,
Easy.
so sorry, I ate earlier. So
It's okay, I just never want to
Anthony's
say.
gassy.
so one of the cosplays I really enjoyed, even though this is total nostalgia boner, and I when I first saw him,
Go ahead.
I saw him walking around earlier. I wanted to take pictures of him, but I didn't have my camera out. I spotted him later on, but he basically was cosplaying as the guy in Middle Slug, where he'll like present you with weapons.
Yes,
And
yes, the guy with the beard.
Yeah, and he was like, "Say thank you."
The hostage.
Yeah.
The POW.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I saw him. I went up to him like, "Dude, your costume's awesome. Let me take a picture." He's like, "Oh, thanks."
So like one of my favorites was there was this couple and they had a little dog on a Nimbus cloud. With
them.
Oh, I saw that picture.
sun,
Yeah.
And the fucking little dog was just like on the little Nimbus cloud, like riding around. And that was fucking awesome.
That's awesome.
I loved it.
That's sick.
You know what? There was, and I've got this in the gallery. There was somebody who cosplays Irie from League of Legends, complete with this like captain's outfit, the hat, the 9 tails behind her.
Yeah.
But the photo wasn't necessarily of her. It was her freaking out because somebody came out in that gigantic Pikachu army mascot outfit, and she fangirled up so hard. I snapped a quick picture of her taking its arms and like waggling them and just squealing with delight.
Dude, I need to check that out. That sounds so cool.
Yeah.
It's in the gallery. She's freaked.
Mentioning, like, you had mentioned Magic. There was one Magic cosplayer that I had, well, actually 2. There was a Jace, but there was a Avacyn from Magic the Gathering.
Sick.
Fucking, and it was the brand new Avacyn with the like blood-tipped wings. Oh, she had the staff. Oh, amazing.
You know, I wish I knew what that meant, because in all honesty, I bought that Magic the Gathering set just because I knew I was coming to the Fanime swap meet, so.
Fucking lucked out, I swear to God.
Actually, if I can leave you with a story about that, this is the worst part. Hasbro at Comic-Con has a rule. You know, kids cannot buy stuff, only adults, and adults a lot of items are one per customer, so they used to take out your badge, stamp it, and then cross off everything you were buying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I got a Hasbro ticket for me and one for my wife. We went to the booth. We both ponied up the cash for Magic the Gathering sets, and it was just, you know, I got one for a friend who I owed a favor to. I got one for my wife because she's a big fan. I'm thinking, God damn it, I could really use one of these for the Fanime swap meet. And as soon as I make the request for the items from the list, all of a sudden the lady leans over and looks at my daughter, who again is a minor and not allowed to buy anything. She says, "And what would you like?"
Oh shit.
You know, and it was just like, and before she could say anything, it was just like, she wants a Magic set too. Okay, here you go. We'll just add that up. Oh, thank you.
That's
I'm
great.
telling you, dude, you got to steal the fucking Planeswalker set. You made a killing because they're gonna reprint it, and
I still
You
technically
made a
have
flop.
the original Comic-Con foil variants too. Technically,
Oh
my
my
wife still has a set.
Shit.
So.
post them. I may want to buy them for you. I
that's-
may want to buy them from you, dude.
A little bit of a warning, Ramen. Like I said, I sold my set. My wife still has her set, but she is a 6-foot-tall Irish redhead from Texas.
Shit.
You know, when let me put it to you this way: when she gets angry, Thor backs down. All right.
Hey, hey, that's completely fine. I just want to see what she has, and I may buy it. I may want to buy it. Be my Magic.
So before I forget, Rin, any particular cosplays that stood out to you this year?
I saw. Well, unfortunately, I came through. Well, all right. You can say, I'm sorry, I'm like really frustrated right now.
There's an answer somewhere in there.
I know,
Yeah, right.
I am so sorry. I don't know why I'm being so.
Take your time, man. Take your time.
There were these cosplayers that were cosplaying I forget what the exact term was, but like the second, it was like a mega evolutions of the first generation Digimon. I saw like Greymon.
Oh yeah, the Greymon and the War Greymon. Yeah, I saw that.
Oh yeah, I saw that picture. Yeah.
Yeah, I unfortunately didn't have my camera on me at the time because I decided that it would be too much of a hassle to carry a lot of things around without in cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
I did have my camera, but they were surrounded by photographers, and as I walked behind them, I heard this loud panting sound, so I think they were on a bit of a break.
Oh.
Yeah, when
Wow.
the first time I saw them, they had the heads off.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
I saw, but I saw them again later on that day, and I saw the outfits. I'm like, amazing.
Yeah, those cosplays were pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then Jesse, for you, like any particular cosplay that stood out to you at Anime?
You can't say me; that'd be cheating.
Saw a really good Cinderella with a Oh, who's that guy? Phoenix Wright. There we go. With a Phoenix Wright.
Nice.
Needed a lawyer to get the house back after the prince was done, huh?
Okay, that's awesome. So I think we should end it. It's kind of running long in the tooth from the podcast. But before we do, I want to know you guys pros, cons of anime this year. Overall thoughts. I'm going to start with Ramen. Ramen, are you there?
Oh my god, he died!
Apparently, he might have just died on us. Okay. In that case, I'm gonna go call an audible. Jesse.
Maybe he went back to Discord.
Gladys, are you there?
Yeah, we're here.
No, fix the registration line.
And the pros?
Pros?
Yeah, pros and cons.
Crowds were light.
Okay,
There
you
was
like the
room
spacing.
Yeah, there was room to walk.
Agreed. Yeah. There wasn't a moment where I felt like I was overcrowded at any point. So yeah, good points. Jeremy, your pros and cons of anime this year.
Administratively, it was a bit of a mess. You know, between the registration issues and a few policies that I could have used the information on what policies had changed from last year to this year, but the only way I found that out was to basically go in a place where somebody told me stop that. So I could have used more information, honestly. I heard there was a big management shift at Fanime from last year to this year, so that may have been part of the cause. But some of the policies they enacted, the anti-ghosting policy actually helped out quite a bit. It made the convention feel more free. I say it's a good convention, I really do, but I still think that even with the strides they made this year, the convention's kind of outsized for where it is right now. I just don't think San Jose can house it anymore unless they have a major expansion happen. So, and I'm not even saying I have a good opinion as to what they should do next, because San Francisco, they'd have to raise costs almost inevitably and immediately. And then if they move further south, they just become another anime convention in a very crowded calendar already.
Agreed. Rin, your pros and cons.
Alright, well, cons, I'm pretty much going to repeat what people here said. Like administrative things, registration, hotel check-ins, and all that stuff could have gone better. As for pros, at least if there's anything, there's still the connection between DoubleTree and Clockwork and Batman Convention Center is a good thing because, you can pick up your badges at Clockwork if things get way too crowded at the Convention Center proper. Anti-ghosting was great. Again, nice to finally be able to walk through the Convention Center and not have to go through line con after line con in terms of walking from place to place. And overall, it's a nice convention, but yeah, crowding can become an issue in the next few years. So let's just hope that the new management finds a way to cope with imminently more attendees.
Yeah. For me, pros and cons, like the pros is the fact that I agree with everybody here in terms like I think that the anti-ghosting method worked tremendously. There's a lot of room to walk around the con. There wasn't a feeling of being overcrowded. I love the cosplay lounge area, the slash repair station. I was in there probably like part of the times at the con just to sit down, relax, talk to friends, and just kind of sit down and just like relax after a long day of walking.
He's lying. He was one of the ghosts. Keep him
out. But no, I really enjoyed that. I'm very thankful to the gaming staff to help me during the Skullgirls tournament. There were a lot of help. That was awesome. A lot of good stuff from this year as to previous last year. As far as the cons wise, everybody saying like administratively they really need to fix some things. I think that I'm not quite sure they don't know how to handle 30,000 plus people in a convention that is continuing to grow, and it's something they need to figure out. It's something that how either expand the current convention center with another section of a building or something else. Because like at this rate, like we are definitely seeing numbers rise over time, and the amount of like how fast somebody can get a hotel is almost it's almost as if it was like Comic Con esque in terms of like trying to get a hotel, for this event. It's actually getting harder and harder every year now. Um, Aside from my own personal dealings with Fanime this year, um, but overall, I think Fanime it's it's going in a direction that they need to figure out. I think that the changing of the head, CEO of anime, just like the stability is just a little shaky right now. But I want to see more stability, more transparency. I really want to see them really come out and like update us. And it's like, hey, this is this is what we're doing. We're like, say like 4 or 5 months out. It's like, hey, this is what we're doing. Here's an update.
Actually, that
at least
has
for
been
this
one of
coming year.
Well, actually, I was going to say that's
this year.
Finish up your thing.
No, I was saying that like sometime after the convention ended, they already like have a website going for the 2017 event. So they're getting there.
Well, they have a website going up, but the problem is, and it was what I was going to allude to, is that they never announce anything until about 2 months before the con, and by then, most people have already decided whether or not they're going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They really got to get out ahead of themselves for once and either start working on these contracts, say, September, or they've got to be more honest and just say, look, we're trying, but a whole lot of silence is just not helpful.
It isn't, and it just leads to speculation. It just leads to a lot of guesswork, and it's not something that a lot of us are really looking forward to. So
that's subject. No, I guess I'll finish. While we're on the subject, I guess another thing that Fanime can also try to work on is if you're going to like actually make these like things about like, oh yeah, for Music Fest, who do you want to have this year, and pretty much not be serious about them. It kind of deters people from actually like wanting to give answers or people wanting to even come back for Music Fest.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a big grab, people like saying like all these big names and Fanime just goes dice at us, and we're just like, who?
Alright guys, I'm back. I'm sorry.
Quick jog.
After let's go like, wait, Dice, who the heck are these people? Most people are like, who are like, you only know Dice and you're like, somehow into these folks. I have a friend of mine who actually loves this group,
mm-hmm.
but like 9 people out of 10 that went there probably went, who the heck is Dice?
Well, that's kind of the issue with them not giving out any announcements until the absolute last minute, is that you leave yourself open to not even having a moderate experience. That means it's either come together at the last second and everybody thinks it's fantastic, or everyone thinks that because you're procrastinating, you put together a half-ass show, so they're not as interested in stuff.
Yeah, because it's like more like a thing of like, okay, if you are already a fan of them, then you're gonna be hyped. But like if they give you the announcement of who's gonna be there ahead of time, you have at least enough time to like look at their stuff and be like, hey, these guys are cool. I like their music. I want to go see them.
Yeah.
But like last minute shit, it just doesn't work.
Like like announcing these kinds of things in the last 2 weeks just doesn't really work, because a lot of people that come to these things are coming. Let's be honest, a lot of people are coming from pretty far away relatively, and we all like to plan ahead especially if we're coming from further distances.
Yeah, exactly. Because like there's so many different like events going on at like one time, and then the whole thing too is like, okay, like I feel like Dice is cool. I listen to the music, but I can I can like I would like maybe like want to go see them. I can enjoy their music, but I feel like it's kind of niche.
Yeah, agreed.
It is very niche. Have they ever done a opening for a popular anime? Tell me, somebody.
I feel like they haven't. Like, I looked up like who they were and all. I have.
Yeah, they had no anime connection.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So then the whole thing, right? But in like the past years, they've had artists like Flo.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Flo. I mean, come on now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of feel like, okay, announce it earlier so that way people can understand who they are, where they come from, what are they doing, if they actually want to go see them live, because I heard about them. I heard them, like I said, like about like a week prior, and I was like, yeah, no, I don't care. I'm
Or
not gonna
hey,
look
how
them
about
up.
this?
I have other things to worry about. I would
Yeah.
much rather go see this or this or this or that,
Right, and
rather
Or
than going to go
hey,
check out who these dice guys are.
hmm
or hey, if might be a bit of a big demand from me, but why not actually work on getting like bigger games, like bring bigger games back to Fanime, like how they had back, even like more recently with Backon. Like what happened to people like them? They
yeah.
get
I
just
mean,
relationships fall apart or something, or what?
these are the questions that are question and answers are not as given as often as we think. But those are my pros and cons of anime. Ramen, since you've returned, what's your pros and cons for anime?
Um, really, I had a really, really great Fanime this time, but I just feel like it was just more of a like personal thing because I got to see like a lot of friends. Like I got to hang out with you, Anthony, and we fucking went and danced on fucking night away on the first night, and I got to go to events. I got to enter video game tournaments. So I mean, pros for me are just it's just the like people. The like cons for me is just these like little things that they need to fix up, which is the registration bullshit, the like last minute announcement of things, and like that's basically it. If if you fix these two tiny things, then yeah, cool. You know what I mean? Like so it's where of like more of a thing is like okay, I would love to go to Fanime and get the Fanime badge. But I know there's a lot of bullshit. I know registration is a problem. So I always go to Clockwork. I go, I fucking wait. I basically don't wait. The whole
Uh,
registration process takes me 5 minutes, and I take a fucking 10-minute ride back on the back on the fucking highway back to Fanime, and I'm good to go for the whole weekend.
Mm,
easy,
yeah.
Easy,
so
easy as
easy.
that. I don't need to fucking wait. I never wait because I know Clockwork's gonna be there. You know what I mean? So like if they just get a couple of things together, they will be fine.
And
That's it. But
and
but everything else is awesome. They have a very 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 good lineup of panels, main events, and stuff like that. Like there's always something that I want to see. I look at the schedule like, oh yeah, we can go check out that. We can go do this, and then afterwards we can go fucking check out that, and like at night we can go fucking watch hentai, like whatever else, you know what I mean? Or like,
yeah,
hey, I can go to a 24-hour game room. I can fucking play games all night.
yeah.
Or I can go check out a fucking cosplay thing. Like I feel like everything is very down pat except for those two things.
Yeah, definitely. And in due time we'll find out what exactly they're going to do and what changes they can implement for next year. But until then, this has been another episode of the Conover. So before we go down the line. Jesse, where can I find you on the internet?
Nowhere.
Okay.
God, don't even think about looking him up.
He is just that obscure, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't think he's kidding.
Wait, you seriously?
Yeah, no, I think he's serious.
Okay. I mean, I could name you one specific podcast that you can find Jesse at.
Oh yeah, you see me hanging around with Jeremy all the time, but
What? No, you can't. No.
Oh boy.
Yeah, more importantly, I believe you can find Jesse on the Rolling 20s. Isn't that right, Jeremy?
Yeah, I guess.
I guess. I guess.
I have to add to this mystery. It'll probably make people click over just to say, is this asshole really on the show?
I don't know. Find out. Tune into Rolling 20s to find out.
Oh boy. All this cross promotion.
Yeah.
There.
Well, you have to wait to find out. Okay. Ramen, where can I find you on the internet?
Well, first of all, you guys can find me here on MrStarPodcast.com. I help out with Conovers, and I also help out on the weekly gaming podcast. You can find me here on Twitch. Well, we're not on Twitch, because somebody. But you guys can find me on Twitch.
Find me here on
Twitter.
Imaginary Twitch. We call it Switch.
Switch. you guys can find me on Switch
Sick.
and Twitter at Exiled Ramen 7. Do a bunch of video game stuff and talking stuff and hangout stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Jeremy, where can I find you on the internet?
Oh God. I do a weekly podcast with Jesse and our compatriot Steve called the Rollin' 20s podcast. I got a message from Elise. She will be back soon. She's figuring out some school stuff and she's eager to get restarted. My current schedule is I have to go to Anime Expo from July 1st through 4th. Then I'm going to San Diego Comic-Con July 21st through 24th. After that, I have to go to Kamikaze October 28th through 30th. Then I have Great American Comic-Con where I'm hosting panels December 3rd and 4th. Then I am off because I'm doing my own crap for once on New Year's Day. And then after that, I'm probably going to be at Anime Los Angeles towards the end of January. And then WonderCon during Easter weekend of 2017. I'm working on a couple different things right now. Celestial Comics has invited us by their booth at Comic-Con to interview any creators that are going to be at their booth. So I'm going to get a list from them soon as to who's going to be by.
Sick.
And
Jesus Christ, man, you need to relax.
God damn,
I
dude.
almost forgot. I'm going to be at E3 Live June 16th. I got a ticket to some kind of event outside the convention proper, so I'm going to go out there and schmooze and hang out with people for a little bit. And sooner or later, I'm really going to figure out how to split myself in half now that I've said all that out loud. I'm kind of scared.
I feel like you already have split yourself in half, and like you're just like being modest about it.
See what you people just heard is you heard the bar, you heard me smash through it, put it up about 6 feet higher, and say, "There, bitches."
Fuck, I have a long way to go.
I will say, Jeremy, I will say this: if you happen to see Gabe Newell at E3, please let me know.
Half of those three, right?
Oh,
I want you to walk up and just hold 3 fingers in his face and like walk away.
I was waiting to find out what he was going to say. If you see Gabe Newell at E3, I want you to walk up, sock him in the jaw, piss in his face, and then wait for the cops. You know?
No. You just simply like
Wait.
give all kinds of hints. You're showing three things.
But see,
just flash him
if
the
that
3
happens-
symbol. That's all I gotta do.
if that happens, you guys can only find out if that happens here on MrPodcast.com.
Flash the 3 symbol. Admit it. You want me to put my fingers together and see if I can give him 1,000 years of pain.
Last but not least, Ren, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me here at Mission Start Podcast. As you can tell, I work here do things here for Conover. I write some articles, post some photos. My stuff's coming up soon. Don't worry. I'm just being bogged down by school for a bit, but I'm all done now for a while.
Sweet.
Also find me on Twitter as the Ring Gunua. You can also find me on Facebook under as the Ring. You can see my cosplay stuff and all. And yep, that's mainly it for me. You can also I'll be with Jeremy at Anime Expo in less than a month. So
Awesome.
see you later.
So like everybody said, you can follow the work that we all do on our website at missionstartpodcast.com. You can follow the work, or if you want to follow me personally on Twitter, you can follow me at Defective Naruto. And for me, event-wise, the next big event for me is Evo.
Yes.
I'm going. I got approved for press, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. And I'm gonna have a lot of fun time there in Las Vegas.
And you're staying with me.
Yeah, I'm staying for ramen, so yeah,
Oh.
yeah, me and Ramen are gonna be in the same bed, so gonna have a lot
It's
of fun time.
love.
Hey, you know what they say, man. What goes in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Actually, I thought what they
Get
usually
on
said
that.
was, "Hey," we're in Vegas.
I believe it.
And I think with that, I think we'll end it there. So, from me and everybody else on the podcast, we will see you guys next time. And this has been another episode of the Conover.